Hey guys, this is Madhav back with another video. Welcome you all to the new series that I've curated. I'll be calling the series as the Academic Hotspots. So, what are we going to do in this series of videos? So, in these, we'll be discussing various concepts and sums and illustrations from the ICA study material or past papers or RTPs or MTPs, etc., which are going to be based on certain concepts that are very important or some kind of sums which are tricky or complex or those which are frequently tested in your examinations. So by this, we will have a better understanding about the concept as well as how to approach and solve those sums. So let's get started. In today's video, firstly, we'll be talking about Ind AS 16. As we all know, Ind AS 16, property, plant and equipment, deals with all the fixed assets. And here we'll be talking about the non-current assets. And then we are going to talk in this specifically about the component accounting concept. So what is component accounting? We all know that the property, plant and equipment, which are the fixed assets, like I said, come under the non-current assets category. And then each asset may be sometimes broken down into multiple components. So in which case, we need to identify the cost of each of the major components separately. We need to recognize them separately. And then secondly, also bifurcate the carrying amounts of each of the PPE's components. Then we need to depreciate each component based on its own useful life and not based on a common useful life. For example, let's take an aeroplane and an engine that it has. Let's say the aeroplane's useful life is 50 years, whereas the engine's useful life is only 10 years, in which case the carrying amount of the engine must be separately recognized, bifurcated, and must be depreciated over a period of 10 years, whereas the body of the aeroplane, apart from the engine, the remaining value of the carrying amount should be depreciated over a period of 50 years. So this is what I mean to say by you need to depreciate them in their own useful life and not based on a common useful life. Next comes an important part. In case of a component being replaced, what needs to be done? So there are two things that needs to be done as a part of the accounting treatment. Firstly, you will de-recognize the old carrying amount of the previous component that already exists as a part of your PPE's carrying amount. Next, you will have to include or add the new component's cost to the carrying amount of the PPE. Sounds simple? Let's continue with an example. Before we move on, I'll just give you a few examples of what could be major components that we need to do the component accounting for. They may be major inspections, major overhauls, there may be a turbine, it might be an engine, etc. But just make sure before you do the component accounting that each of these components are really eligible to be classified as an asset or they're eligible to be capitalized. So you need to check for the asset recognition criteria as well before we capitalize them and continue the accounting. So let's look at this simple example here about a shipping company which has to do a major overhaul once in 5 years in order to make the ship into a seaworthy condition each time. So here, by this, as you can see here, it eligibly qualifies for the capitalization. So now it's been given that the ship's cost is 20 million and has a 20-year useful life, and the major overhaul must be done once in 5 years. So the estimated cost of the major overhaul is 5 million. So now, as you can see here, like I just told you, step one, you have to identify the components, which is the major overhaul and the ship apart from the overhaul. Second thing, you need to bifurcate the carrying amounts. So the total carrying amount was 20 million. However, within which the 5 million is the overall component, which means 5 million goes for the overall and the remaining balancing 15 million goes for the ship, which is other than the overall component. So now you have to depreciate them over their respective useful lives. Hence, the 5 million gets depreciated over 5 years and 15 million over 20 years. So as you can see, over a period of 5 years, this major overall expenditure that is estimated to happen would just get written off as the depreciation. Finally, at the end of the 5 years, your remaining carrying amount would be 11.25 million, as you can see here. And now, suppose there is a new overall that has to be done at the end of the 5 years. So, and that costs you 6 million, in which case, now this new amount has to be capitalized. So, like I told you above here, when there is a replacement that happens, you have to de-recognize the old carrying amount and include the new carrying amount. However, in this case of an overall, it is only the new overall that happens and the previous one has already been fully depreciated. Hence, you just need to add this 6 million to the existing carrying amount of 11.25, which makes it 17.25. And now this again has to be bifurcated into the overall component and the ship other than the overall component and depreciated again with the respective useful life. So now the 6 million has to be depreciated over 5 years and this 11.25 over 15 years because out of this 20 years, already 5 years are over. Now, let's look at one illustration, which is quite interesting. So in this case, the company has acquired a heavy machinery, and that is costing around 1 crore, and estimated useful life of it is 10 years. At the end of 6th year, one of the major components, which is a turbine, requires a replacement, and this replacement will be done at a cost of 45 lakhs because the new turbine's cost is that as on today's rate, and the discounting rate is given as 5%. Now, the question here is, can the cost of the new turbine be recognized as an asset? And if so, what treatment should be used? So firstly, this new turbine must be mandatorily replaced because otherwise the further maintenance becomes uneconomical without this. So the new turbine will provide economic benefits and the cost is measured reliably, and therefore it has to be recognized as an asset. However, the complication comes here because you do not know what the cost of the major overhaul was or this turbine replacement was at the beginning of the purchasing of the asset. So when the asset was bought, there was no breakdown of the components as any turbine or overall or any other component. However, now you want to replace a turbine. So how do you ascertain the value? It is pretty simple. You know the value in the present day's figure, which is 45 lakhs, and you're given a discounting rate. So here you're going to use the concept of discounting back. So now you'll be discounting it back 6 years and find out the value on what it was at the beginning, which amounts to be 33,57,900. This is approximate figure after having discounted the amount. And then now this value was to be the balance 6 years ago when you should have bought the asset. In which case, after having depreciated it for 6 years, you would have a balance of 1343160. So this should be the current carrying amount of the turbine that would have to be de-recognized. So now you'll de-recognize this component and you'll add the new component that is being bought, which is 45 lakhs. So as I mentioned earlier, the existing carrying amount minus the old components carrying amount plus the new components carrying amount. That's what is done. So it's 40 lakhs minus 1343160 plus 45 lakhs again. So this shall be the total carrying amount at the end. So how did we arrive at the 40 lakhs? This is again pretty simple. It's the cost of the original machinery, which is 1 crore, and that being reduced by depreciation for 6 years. As we did not had a split up in the beginning, we did not have any breakup between components or turbine and the other machinery. So hence we depreciated the entire 1 crore over a period of 6 years and brought it down to 40 lakhs. And hence your current carrying amount being 40 lakhs minus the amount to be de-recognized, which is 1343160 plus 45 lakhs, which is the cost of the new turbine. So this is pretty simple concept, but it needs to have the basic understanding of these points. So hope this video was helpful for you guys, and then I'll be coming up with more such videos. Please do drop in your thoughts and feedback on the comment section below, and also do recommend or ask for topics or concepts that you'd want me to do videos on in the near future. Thank you so much, guys. Good luck.